This is a little bit different from my usual topics, but this is a first video where I try different things. And in this video I want to talk about should you buy Sony A7 Mark III in 2020. I bought my A7 Mark III late summer, I think, and I'm gonna talk about the things that happen in my own experience and that I think you should consider when buying a new camera. So you have some money saved up and you're ready to invest in very expensive camera, professional one. Sony A7 Mark III is your best choice, you really want that one, but you heard rumors. A7 Mark IV should arrive this year. Well, it's obviously not gonna arrive. It will probably end up in Q1 of next year. But everyone was expecting that Mark IV this year. But instead we got A7S Mark II, which is a video-focused camera. Then we got A7C, which is A7 Mark III, but a little bit like smaller version, I guess. I don't really know how that camera works, but from reviews it seems that it's a little bit underwhelming, A7 Mark III. And then you think maybe I should wait a little bit more because, you know, better to have that brand new model instead of this old crappy one, right? Well, I have different opinion for you. I also thought the same. I was postponing my purchase for at least 6 months because I was eagerly awaiting A7 Mark IV, but it never happened. So I thought to myself, I should just take a leap of faith and get this camera because it will be a tremendous jump from all the gear I have so far. And it's a full frame camera, it's a high quality camera, professionals use it, all popular YouTubers have it, so it must be good, right? And then also I was trying to rationalize, why should I purchase now and not wait yet again 6 months or even more? I thought, well, this camera costs $2,000, euros, depends where you live. For me it was about 2,000 euros. It's a lot of money. And I didn't see any price drops. I mean, if they would reduce the price for like 500 euros or something, I mean, there would be no reason for anybody to buy anything else at that point. So from that part, great, I guess, business move, or I don't know, maybe it's not very valuable for them to reduce it that much. And then the new Mark IV would be again 2,000 euros. But that didn't seem like the way Sony will go, because why would they reduce the price of something that's selling like hotcakes for 3 years now? I wouldn't reduce the price, would you? So I was thinking they will just stick to the price they have right now, but the price of Mark IV will be at least 500 euros more. Do I really want to spend so much more, like, I don't know, 1/3 or 1/4 of the price for, I don't know, just a handful of better specs? So you need to understand that this new Mark IV will definitely not overshadow Sony A7S Mark II. This is a high-end video-oriented camera, and I don't think you will see like 4K, 120 frames per second and stuff like that, like 10-bit and so on. If they would do that with this like a little bit lower-end camera when it compares to the Sony A7S Mark II, then they would be shooting themselves in the foot, I guess, because then people would rather buy this cheaper one that also has all these nice things, right? So I think that you'll have like better EVF, maybe, I don't know, a little bit more pixels, flippy screen, and I don't know, some cosmetic changes, but I'm not really sure it's gonna be like such a massive bump in specs. Maybe I'm completely wrong, what do I know? But I just believe it's gonna be like that because of the all cameras they listed this year. That said, my recommendation is go for Sony A7 Mark III. It's a tremendous camera. You have 4K, you have all the specs that professionals need and use, and for most of people it's gonna be enough. I mean, if there is this one thing you're eagerly awaiting in Mark IV, yes, then definitely wait, this is a camera for you, I guess. But for majority of people, me included, Mark III is excellent camera and it's gonna serve me for a very, very long time. I don't see myself shooting, I don't know, 4K, 120, when I have Full HD 120 on this beautiful camera, and it's enough. Technology with consumers is not so far away that you should consider like 4K constantly or even 8K. People use phones most of the time, and it's a small screen. So if you have like this super detailed, big picture, it might be a problem for them. I know when I'm recording my 4K screen, people are, sorry, I can't see what you're showing on my device. So we are not there yet. Maybe in 5 to 10 years it's gonna be completely normal to say, yes, you need 8K because every TV at everybody's home is 8K, but not right now. A7 Mark III is perfect for this day and age. So when you're buying your camera body, you will also have to buy lens. Lens is half of the price or even maybe more than camera itself. So it's not only 2,000 euros, it's 3,000 euros or more we're talking here. But there are also hidden costs that people don't usually talk about. Are you ready for them? Do you have enough money in the end? So let's go through all these hidden ones. First thing that bit me in the ass is bigger file sizes. I was overly confident that half of the terabyte of internal storage and then terabyte of external for just backup is more than enough for my YouTube projects. But boy, I was wrong. It's not. It's definitely not, and for the first time ever, I came to the point where my computer was breaking down. I got all sorts of weird messages from OS because of lack of space. So you need to consider your storage. So let's start with an example to illustrate. This is the same footage in Full HD and 4K. So now we have these two different file sizes, and my question to you is, where are you gonna store all that footage? Even for short YouTube stuff, you need a lot of space. So now consider having a client where you probably need triple the space. And if you check the prices of external SSDs, such as Samsung T7 for example, you will see that that will set you back for several hundred euros or dollars. Are you prepared for that cost? Next thing that you need to consider is computer power. That also bit me, because I was under impression that a MacBook Pro 13-inch from this year, a little bit higher end configuration, is more than enough. I was wrong. That computer, although it costs almost 3,000 euros, cannot crunch 4K video. I need to transcode absolutely everything that is recorded in 4K. Transcoding actually takes a lot of time. Even for this short YouTube stuff, it can take from, let's say, 30 minutes up to 2.5 hours. That's a tremendous time lost. You could have been editing for 2.5 hours if you had proper hardware. Lack of dedicated GPU is also a big problem for me, because every time I put title or transition or any sort of effect, everything slows down. I need to wait again for background render to happen in order to have a smooth playback. For me, that hinders my creativity because I'm afraid to experiment, cut different stuff, rearrange it, because if it works, I'm gonna leave it because I don't want to mess things up and waste extra few hours just for the wait. And to be quite honest, I am less and less motivated to experiment with different techniques and styles because I know it will take hours and hours and hours to render and transcode everything, and seriously, with full-time job, life, I don't have extra 5 hours to waste just for waiting everything to be rendered and then, a couple of hours for editing itself. So my point here is you really need to have a good computer with probably dedicated graphics card in order to make things work. Otherwise, it's gonna be a long waiting game. You need to consider that as well. Or you might find yourself in a situation where you're, taking your credit card and actually buying a new computer that's 2 times the price of the camera and lens. As a conclusion, yes, I would definitely again buy Sony A7 Mark III already. I wouldn't wait for this imaginary Mark IV that will happen who knows when, because even when it happens, even if it happens 2 months from now, I wouldn't be mad for buying this camera now, because the feature set of this camera is more than enough for me and probably you and majority of users. If you have tens of thousands, who knows how many, YouTube creators that, basically freelance and they make commercials, client video, and they use this camera, it should be good enough for you. So it's all about, you know, exploring the camera and really knowing how to use it. Better EVF will probably not make that tremendous change. That's it for this video. I hope you liked my reasoning why to buy Sony A7 Mark III today and this year. It would be extremely nice if you would subscribe to my channel. You can do it now. I can wait a little bit, just click that red button, and also you can put thumbs up on this video while at it. And you can also, you know, put a comment if you agree or disagree with me, if you have some concerns, let's talk. And until next video, ciao ski!